everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Today we're going to be working on my fall junk journal called The Colors of Fall. We are going to be working with some Essential Stencil rub-on transfers. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We're live on Facebook. If you see the little red button at the top left, if not, it's a replay. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. And we'll get started on this in just a minute. All right, hopefully volume is good. Thank you, Dawn, for letting me know. All right, so I'm working on this journal. I'm just doing different projects in it, and today we're going to make a little, kind of like a notebook folio, like for taking notes in or for journaling in or whatever. It's just a little tiny folio, folder, whatever you want to call it. My cat is scratching at the door. I didn't let him in because he's just going to walk right back out. But he's scratching now. Anyway, so we're going to make that. We're going to use some rub-on transfers. I've got a couple of packs. Got the sunflowers and the Cozy Fall Farmhouse. I'm aware the Fall Farmhouse is out of stock currently. Maybe it'll come back. We can only hope because it is really cute. So if you don't have it, I hope you can get it. But the sunflowers are in stock, and there are others. You know, you don't have to only use the ones I show you for this project. You can take the project and use whatever ones you want with it. But I'm using what I have, so that's what I have. Hey. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this camera pulled up top so we can get started on this so we don't run out of time. All right, 1 second. Sorry about all the bumping around. Trying to see if I put my weight on there. I did. Right direction. And a little bit more right there. Good light. I think we are good. It's cold in my room today. One day it's hot, next day it's cold. Granted, in 5 minutes I'll probably be burning up. You know how that goes. Alright, so if you do decide to use any transfers or rub-ons or anything from Essential Stencil, remember to use my code ARTROOM. It'll get you 10% off. The link to this is in the description of this video. I am an ambassador, so I do get a small commission. And so these are our projects. I've got them all ready and lined up. I don't know where I'm going to put them. I haven't decided that. I'm going to turn them over because the colors are going to probably decide where I put them. So, let's see what we have left. I've got some pockets made that these might work in. I'm not 100% sure. I probably don't want a super busy page. Now these could just be clipped in anywhere, or they could be put in a pocket. Either would work. Debating if that's thick enough for a pocket. I don't think I want to go with a busy design because it'll be too much, I think. I still haven't done these. They also could be just stuck inside here. I'm pretty sure they'll fit. Which I still have to decorate. But alright, so only one I've got on that is kind of that brownish one, which might be the same. This is a coffee dyed. I could possibly put one there. I did finish up my booklets from the last video. So we did these on my last live, and then I did 2 more off camera to finish that up, and I'll show you those in a second. I wonder if I could put one there. This would probably look better with the belly band though. That brown one maybe. I'm leaning toward these brown pages. I think they'll work. Oh, maybe this yellow page. I might use that one for the sunflower one. Yeah. So let's mark these. So maybe this one. I actually have something planned for this sunflower page, but I do have 2 sides, so I could do it on the other side. I also have another brown page, and I have a green page. That does look good on the green. I might put that one there. I don't want them all in the same one though. I hate when that happens. That's too busy, I think. I'm leaning toward the browns. That's not bad there. But I could possibly reinforce the other side or something if it feels like it's going to be too flimsy. I've got 1 more of these orange pages left. I'll have to decide if that's a little similar. I've got this stencil page. It's coffee dyed. All right, I'll have to decide on the last page. I found one that works. All right, we'll figure it out. We're going to go ahead and just start them, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to put them. I've got, like I said, I have a couple of pockets that I did over the last few days. If I can figure out where I sat them. Where did you set them? All right, so we're going to be working with file folders. Or you could use cardstock type scrapbook paper. Like, look for one that says cardstock. I think I stuck it in an envelope, but let me double check. Nope, not that envelope. Oh my goodness gracious, guys, I'm always searching for stuff. So I've got these little, these are what I call little journaling note, I don't know, pieces. I don't have a name for them, but they're just scrap pieces of paper that I've sewed at the top. Literally, that's it. I tore the edges, sewed them at the top. Sometimes I ink around them, sometimes I don't. They're different colors. I have some for these that we're going to do today. Like I said, you can either use, for this outside piece, you can either use cardstock, whatever kind you want, which I did with the sunflower one, this one. This is this one, this one. So you could use that, or I gotta figure out where I put those envelopes I just made. You can use a file folder that you've painted. I'll show you how to paint one real quick because I haven't done that in a while. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you know, I don't like to assume everyone knows how to do it. So here's some I have painted. Okay, you can paint them all different colors. What I was doing for a long time when I was painting all the time, I was just using whatever paint was left over on the palette to color these. But sometimes I stencil on them and other things. But we're going to paint one real quick. And I'm going to find that paper. Is this it? No. Oh my goodness. Where did you put it? I need them. Oh, there they are. knew I clipped them together, but I couldn't find them. All right, so here's some pockets I made. So these are different things. This is a candy wrapper, and it's the inside that is corrugated. I don't know. It's almost like a bubble wrap. Here, I'm going to show you with a piece because I don't have a whole one anymore. But it looks like that kind of, except on one side it's got this brown stuff. And I just pulled it apart on some, like this piece. It's pulled apart and colored. On this piece that's on that, it's this piece here with the whole thing together, and I just painted it. But it's inside your, like your candies that you get like on Valentine's. So that's what that is. And it's got over the top of it some vellum. So it's crinkly, but it's a nice pocket, so we'll glue that somewhere. This one is just some scrapbook paper with vellum over it. Now this vellum is alcohol ink dye. Image from Autumn Barnes. What's it called? 48 Autumn Farm Barns from the Clip Crafter. It's an Etsy digital I downloaded last year. I had some of those printed out, so that's one of those. This is a whole other project. But I have a few pockets that we might use and we might not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out as I go. So, file folders. File folders are great for making folios and things like that. They can be painted. They can be stained. They just work real well. Now, a lot of times if I'm going to use one for a project where it's folded, a lot of times I'll use this already folded bit. Okay, like this was literally just cut from there. So it's already got the fold on it. I don't have to worry about a fold. It's already there. Okay, so that's where two of these came from. The last one, like I said, is scrapbook paper. I'm trying not to lose my pieces because I have these all together. And I don't want to lose the pieces so it doesn't take me forever. So for painting these, typically I just, like I said, I use leftover scrapbook paper, or not acrylic paint. Wow, my brain is not working. You want to cover your surface with something. It could be a cereal box liner, it could be craft paper, whatever. Just cover it with something. And then you just want to get whatever paint you have left over. Pueblo is a nice color. Say moon yellow maybe. We'll try these two and see what they look like. They're two fall colors. I never know what they're going to look like, honestly. I think I have a sponge. All right, I don't have a good sponge, but I have a little sponge. So sea sponges are best. They give the best effect, I think. I don't have a big piece sitting here because I wasn't going to do this, but I have a little piece, so we'll try it with that. I'm just going to do a tiny piece of this just to show you, to give you kind of an idea. So a little bit of paint. Like I said, you can use leftover paint when you're painting a project and you have some leftover paint. You don't want to throw it down the drain, and it's going to probably dry out before you get back to it. So grab yourself a file folder or something. I got to get this paint bugger off of there. There. Like I said, I'm only going to do a teeny bit. So, and then grab yourself a sea sponge. Sorry, I just got paint all over my fingers. And paint. No place to put things. So you can paint with a sea sponge. It works best, I think. You can use a brush. You can use a chip brush, and that gives you a nice effect too. But if you're going to do it with a sea sponge, just kind of figure out what color you want. And just, I like to dab it a lot of times, especially if I'm doing like a fall kind of thing, because it gives that autumn tree look. You can just kind of dab a couple of different shades in there and play around with it. And then you're just going to let it dry, and you will have a really pretty background piece of file folder. fix it. I'm not going to do this whole thing. I'm just going to do it until I run out of paint here. I didn't get quite enough yellow on there, but I'll fix it later. Okay, that's all I do. Throw that in water so it doesn't dry out. All right, and then I let it dry, and then I use it in the project. Okay, so that's how you do that. You can also swirl it and do other things, but a lot of times I just do the sponge and stipple it. It's easy and it works good as a background. Okay, so let me set that aside. I'll clean that later. All right, so first one. So we have the background folder, which was this one, and I had painted it brown, and then I decoupaged a napkin on it. Now I'm not going to decoupage a napkin because I just did it the last live to show you how. You can take a peek at the last one and look at that, but I decoupaged this napkin on it and sanded off the edges and let it dry. It takes a bit to dry, so make sure it's nice and dry. And then you've got this little folder, all right? And then I took some of my scrap papers. This is actually a book for old cooking book, so that one's kind of fragile. I stenciled on it, some stencil, I don't know what. It's got some grid paper, it's got some lined paper. Sew them together. You can glue them too. If you don't have a sewing machine, glue them together. It does not matter. Staple them together. I've seen it done many, many ways. Hand stitch it. So many things you could do. Grab your transfer. We're going to use this one. This is one from that fall, shoot, I can't remember the name. What's it called? I know it's not in stock. Cozy Fall Farmhouse. So I'm calling these Cozy Kitties, and we're going to make a little project with this. So these are my 3 pieces. So you need your file folder decorated somewhat, at least the inside completely dry, because that's where I'm going to put the transfer. And then you need your scrapbook paper. And we're going to put some labels on there. I have a couple that I have got. So these labels I made. These labels are from Autumn Dictionary. I have it written down. Autumn Dictionary by Digital Attic Studio on Etsy. So it's a whole set of different autumn themed dictionary type labels. It's a nice set. I'm not going to lie, it's a pain to cut out. I don't know what the person was thinking, but they didn't line them up straight, so they're kind of a pain to cut out. And I just printed these different sizes. So some are 100%, some are 50, some are 20%. Just a bunch of different sizes, and I put them in this little folder that I made. Which most of the time they'll stay in. Sometimes they fall out, but you gotta... I had made this little booklet, and I was running out of room, so I just decided to just use sheet protectors and do bigger ones. Because I know some of you got all of these in it, and it wasn't big enough for some things, so I ended up just using these. And they're just sheet protectors. I just sewed them. It's very, very easy to do. I keep meaning to make a video on it. I have all the pictures. I just got to put it together so y'all can see how to do it. But it's real easy. But that's where those came from. So the one that's the dictionary came from this one. And this is Fall Bounty. She has a few too. I didn't use any of hers, I don't think, in this project. But they're real cute too. The ones I use are mine that I just made up on my my own program. So I've got Cozy Kitties, and I've got Cozy, which happened to be in the Autumn Dictionary one with the definition. Okay, so we're going to open it like this, and I'm going to put the design here. So this kitty cat is going to go here. I'm going to zoom in just a fraction. Yeah, see where I need to be. I think there. Is that focused? I can't tell. I hope. I probably should put some tape down because I will totally get out of camera. Alright, so we're going to stick this on here. Now the label that I'm going to put on the inside is the definition, I think. And this one's going on the outside. Yeah. So I want to make sure I have room for that. So we're going to drop these kitties down near the fold. So when you peel these apart, I still have paint on my finger. When you peel them apart, don't get so close to the edge that you don't have a place to grab that isn't the transfer, because you don't want to touch that. That's where the sticky is. Okay, so don't touch the transfer part. Try to touch only the clear part. And center it up wherever you want it to go. Make sure that you are ready and drop it wherever it is, because once you drop it, that's it. Okay. I'm going to go there. And they come with these little guys for smoothing them out. I tend to like my piece of wood, which I will use, which is just a piece of wood that I've sanded smooth, just because I can get a better grip on it. So you just want to rub it real good everywhere. Some people like to start at one end and do it. I just kind of do it everywhere, and then I might start at one end, but it's up to you. So I'm going to make sure I got that rubbed pretty good. And then we'll just check the top and see how it looks. I don't think this background's too dark. I'm hoping not. See if it's sticking. Now, you want to look at it as you lift your plastic part. You want to make sure it's sticking. If it's not sticking, give it a little more rub and then pull it up. And you want to look through it and see if it's clear. It needs to be clear. If it's not clear, immediately drop it and rub it some more. And usually it's not too bad. You can pull it. Sometimes I just do like this. I don't know why. I started doing that, and it seems to work pretty good. But most people just pull them, I think. I always feel like I'm gonna pull it too rough. And I just kind of go at different angles, especially as I'm getting near the bottom, because I don't want that to just pop off if it's not ready. All right, there we go. So, and we got our kitty cats. I usually give it just a little rub. And we have a cute little transfer on our page. Okay. So there's our transfer. And we're going to add this dictionary label to it. I think I'm going to ink it. I wasn't sure, but I think I will. You can ink, not ink. It's up to you. I'm going to lightly ink the edge. I try to leave a little bit of that white border. I cut these out, leaving the little white. It's not really white. It's kind of off-white because I printed these on resume paper that was ivory. So it's not really a white paper. It's more of a ivory. I like the resume paper for printing labels a lot of times because it's just a little bit thicker than, I'm trying to find my glue. It's just a little bit thicker than copy paper. But not quite as thick as like cardstock. It's like in between. So we're just going to put Cozy on here somewhere toward the center. Okay, so we've got Cozy. And we're going to put our papers. Now these are already sewed together. We're just going to put a little bit of glue at the top. Now, if you want this to be repositionable, so say you could refill it if you're going to use it over and over, you could use a repositionable tape on here, like a tape that it's repositionable. I don't know what you call it, but sometimes it comes in like something like this. Mine are all permanent, but you know what I mean. So you can use a repositionable tape and put it on there. You could staple it and then remove the staples. Just keep in mind, if you do staple it, you got to figure out how you're going to get staple in there. You'd have to have a long one to get it in there, and it would show on the back. So it's not my preferred method. If I had no other choice, I might do that. I'm just going to glue it. So I'm just put a little glue at the top here. Doesn't take much. And I didn't ink these. They could be inked if you want them to be inked. They do look pretty with the edges inked. I'll ink the next one just so you can see. I wasn't going to sit here and ink all of them. So it just takes up too much time. But then we got that, and then we're going to put a label on the outside with this label. I'll have to see. I have these labels. They're either for sale or it was possibly a freebie for my VIPs, but I think I have them for sale on Etsy. I'm just not 100% sure. I'll have to look if you all want any. I don't think I had Cozy Kitties in there. I could add it if I don't. I may just give it to y'all as a freebie, honestly, because I never sell my labels off of Etsy for some reason. And they're not much. They're like a couple bucks. But people just don't buy them. I think because there's so many options. So I'm just going to put this on here. It could be anywhere. It could be in the middle. It could be at the top. Maybe you want more decoration. I'm just going to put it at the top, kind of, sort of. I'm not going to do a lot of decorating on this. Keep it kind of simple. All right, so then we have our folder. You could round the edges if you wanted, if you like that look better. I'm debating on if I want to ink it a little more, maybe. I'm not sure if this ink will show. Let's see. Not much. I do have some scorched timber. I know that'll show. I'll see what it looks like. It'll be about the color of that center, I think. Those sunflowers. It's not too dark. Yeah, that's not bad. So you don't have to ink, but sometimes inking is pretty. Now, depending if you're going to glue it in or if you're going to tuck it in, it depends on whether you have to decorate the back. I'm probably going to tuck mine, so I'd like it to be removable. That way you could pull it out to write notes and put it back in. But isn't that cute? It's just a little folder. So I think that is cute. I'm going to leave this out. Leave these two colors out. All right, so there's our first one. Let's grab our next one. So this one is done with scrapbook paper and some sunflower cardstock. So this one's got a little more to it because I don't want the white scrapbook paper. This is grid paper with some stenciled sunflowers. This is an Essential Stencil. This is a lined notebook paper I got from Dollar Tree that I colored with some green distress ink. And this is also a stencil. It's a cone flower. I'm pretty sure it's an Essential Stencil too. But different things on these. So I kept them nice and yellow and bright. And then we've got one of the sunflower stencils from the sunflower kit. And then this is our paper. So I've taken the piece this is literally the piece that I cut off when I was making my pages for the journal. When you're making your pages for the journal, if you're using a 12 by 12, you're going to have a drop that is approximately this size. Okay, fold it in half, you've got this already. If you want to know the measurements, not that it really matters, but this one happens to be 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And that's, I think they're all pretty much, this is a little more, so this is like 4 inches. Yeah, this is approximately 4 inches wide. So I made them all fairly similar. So for this one, because it does have the white scrapbook paper on the inside, I wanted to go ahead and cover that with something. So I'm going to, I've got 2 things. These are from the sunflower paper from Hobby Lobby. I think it's just called Sunflower. I got it on clearance. I think. I'm trying to see if I see it so I can be sure, but I think that's what it was. It might be called Fall Sunflower. Some of them, a couple of them were called Fall Sunflower. Yeah, okay, Fall Sunflower from Hobby Lobby. So that's from in here. And this is not cardstock, it's just regular. All right, so I'm going to cover these. I want the sunflower to go on that, so it's going to be at the top. And then I want this to be under the notebook pages. Now, you could ink this if you want, or you could ink it before or after. I cut these close. They're not exact because I'm always worried I won't line it up when I'm gluing it down. So I usually leave it a little extra and then I just trim it when I'm done. So that's what I did. That's why it's a little bit bigger. And we're just going to throw some of this art glitter on it. You could use a glue stick if you want, but it's not as secure. You could use other glues, Barely Art glue or whatever. I like the art glitter. Oops, I can get a hold of it. Right, so we're going to put this on here. I'm going to try to line it up, so I'm going to use that fold. You definitely don't want to go above the fold because it won't close. So make sure you're just below it. You could use a bone folder or something like this. Smooth it down. Let that dry for a second. We'll do this one in the meantime. I might flip it. This is, because it's not directional, it doesn't matter really. If it were directional, then I'd be very careful that I was putting it the right way, because this is the top, okay? So I would want it this way. So I would probably stick an arrow here so that I knew to glue it the right way. But since it's not, I'm not worrying about that. Trying to stay on the paper, but I keep going off the edge. Okay. And same thing, I'm going to use that fold just to kind of help me line her up. Like I said, I left myself a little bit of room for error. So it's just safer. Okay, so it still folds just fine. I didn't get in the groove there. So now I just want to trim off the edges that I have there. Typically I wait for them to dry. I have to do it. Some scissors. So I just kind of lay my scissors to where they just hit the cardstock. And usually, if you hold them just right, it will follow right along that cardstock edge. If you can't do that, you're having trouble doing that, just use a utility knife and a ruler. That's fine too. But once you get the hang of doing this, it is a little quicker. Just kind of get used to the way the scissors hit the cardstock and stop. It's kind of using that flat edge there, and that's what stops it. I don't really know how to explain it. It's something you'll have to just play with and learn how to do. That's pretty much the only thing I know. It's still a little wet. It works much better when it's dry. Just knocked my glue over. All right, so you get all the edges off. Throw those away. And put this pen back in this. All right, so I've done that. This is the bottom, this is the top. I do want that to dry for just a minute before I try to put the transfer on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the outside. So for this outside, I'm gonna reinforce that just a little bit. There. For this outside, I'm gonna use 3 of the sunflower ones. Now I've printed these in different colors. I've got a green, a yellow, and a beige, or ivory, cream, whatever we want to call it. And we're going to put these on here like this, because I thought it was cute. If I can try and get them somewhat centered. I'm debating if I want to try to mark it somehow. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go for it and try to line it up. You can ink them if you want. I'm not gonna, because I like this one's got that white background, and I don't know if I want this one inked, just because it's a little bit of a brighter look. So using tweezers is sometimes helpful to get things to lay easier. I need to be on my grid so I can see if I'm straight. It helps too. If you lay your paper on your grid, you can just kind of eye the lines going off to the side, and sometimes that does help. But if you feel like you can't do it, you can mark it with a pencil and just put it on the pencil line. If it's not 100% perfect, it's not 100% perfect. It is what it is, right? Okay. Last one. I'm trying to get the same amount of gap I have there, approximately. That looks pretty close. All right, so we have sunflower on the outside. Make sure those are down and dried. Feel good. Okay, so we're going to put our paper here and our transfer here. Hopefully that's not too bumpy. Ideally I would put the transfer first, just because it's less bumpy, but we're just going to go for it. I think it'll be all right. So I'm going to leave myself room for my dictionary saying. And I think I want it this way. Alright, get this rubbed on there. It hurts my tendonitis. That's why I use my transfer stick. My tendonitis honestly has been acting up lately. think it's my fault. I keep falling asleep with my iPad in my hand, and then I realize I've been holding it like that for hours. This is a bad thing to do. Don't fall asleep with your iPad in your hand. I'm notorious for doing that. I'll play my games. I like to unwind playing games at night. And then I like fall asleep with it. And I'm like, oops. How long have I been sleeping with that? Then you have a big old crook in your neck because, you know, fell asleep. All right, there we go. Pretty little sunflower. And we're going to put our label up there. I'm going to ink this one just on that very edge. I think it'll help it stand off that page just a little bit. I'm trying not to cover the cream though, so I'm just real lightly catching the edge. Yeah. Okay. I like these little dictionary labels though. I'm glad I got them. It's not an expensive purchase. I don't remember exactly what I paid, but I typically will pay anywhere from $1 to $3. I rarely pay more than that for my digitals, so I'm sure it wasn't too much. I can see I got this paper on here slightly crooked, but that's all right. We're just gonna try to line this up kind of sort of center. About there. All right, so there's sunflower, and then we're going to put our pretty papers over this, and that last page lifts, so you see this. I just didn't want it to be plain. I have to see if I ordered more art glitter. I can't remember. I need to do it before everything starts freezing if I haven't. You cannot order art glitter in the winter because it freezes. The art glitter glue, because it's water-based and it freezes, and if it freezes, it doesn't work right anymore. It messes up the formula. So you can only order it when it's not freezing temperatures outside. Okay, so there's that one. Our pages. Cute. Cute. And I've got these strings on here. You could pull them off if you want, but I like them sometimes, so I'm going to leave them. Do I have more of this? I buy refills that are big. I think I just bought the small one last time because I wanted a separate bottle. That's what I did. I bought this size because I wanted a separate one without the tiny nozzle. So this one I kept the fatter nozzle on. And then I have two, but this one's pretty full, so I could just pour some of this into there. That's probably what I'll do. Although I may order more. I don't know. You don't want to order too much because it only has a shelf life of, I think, a year. So after that, it's so far in advance. I'm trying to find my last one. Where'd it go? I buried it. There it is. Don't order too much all at once. You know, don't get a huge, 20-ounce bottle you can't use, or you'll end up having to toss it. So here's the last one. This is also a napkin, decoupage, and a painted file folder. And then this is our papers. This one I've actually got 4. And then for this one, I've got the sweater off of the cozy fall one. And it's got a little cozy sweater there with a pumpkin. And I thought that the colors match this napkin just perfectly. I couldn't ask for it to match better. And then I have a sweater dictionary label, and I have one that I made, and I just said sweater weather on it. Now there is a sweater weather stencil from an older set. It's a little big, I think. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it was too big. Here, let me look. Yeah, it's huge. This is the only one I could find in the Essential Stencil stuff, so it was too big. And this is an older set that's not around anymore, so I just had my own labels that I made. I'll probably just give these out as a freebie or something. I'll have to look at it. If y'all want the newer one that I made that's got the cozy, it has sweater weather and it has the cozy kitties, and I might put a few new ones in there because I had an older set. I don't have one that's not cut already, but it basically had, I'll have to look, it basically had all of these. It had these, autumn leaves and pumpkins, please, fueled by coffee, hello autumn, I think I love fall most of all, pumpkin pie, that's why, that's new, sweater weather's new, warm tea and falling leaves is new, spice latte was older. So I've added some new words this year, so I'll probably just print out a freebie or something. I already have it made, so it's not like it's hard. And then I put them in here. This one's actually a slide thing for photo slides. If you were around when slides were popular, I used to do stock photos, so I took photos with slides. And I had a ton of these left, so I use these for my smaller ones a lot of times. And then these are the ones I made. So anyway, at all those labels, I'll find it and post it up. So for this one, we're going to put that transfer there. I'm going to go ahead and do that first. You need to order ASAP. Like I said, the one that's on Etsy is not, it doesn't have the cozy kitties. It doesn't have the warm tea one. It doesn't, I don't think it has sweater weather. I'll have to look at it. You probably have it, honestly, Dawn. But I'll look at it and see. I'll get it up for y'all. And if y'all feel like it, you can always just, give me some stars, or, some money on PayPal, whatever. I love the helping out with supplies. That's always awesome. So we're going to put this little guy here. Oh, this is so cute. Okay. My glue is, it's rocking back and forth. I'm about to knock it over, so put the pen in it before I forget. Move it somewhere else. All right, let's see if that's coming loose. All right, there we go. Cute, so cute. All right, and then on the inside, we want the dictionary one. This one says, I haven't been reading these. It says a knitted or crocheted jacket or pullover. I'll read the others to you too, because I don't know if you could see them. Tried to zoom in a little bit. I can't zoom too much because I don't have room to show you all the other stuff. Glue. I hid it. Oh my goodness. I knew I waited too long. Hold on. Let me clean it real quick. This is just a damp microfiber cloth, but it works real well for if you wipe your pen and you wipe your bottle top. If you're having trouble getting your pen in, it almost always works perfectly. All right, let's get sweater on there. Try to sort of line it up. I think these are cute though. They're real simple. I mean, look how quick I did it. I'd never do anything this quick. I'm gonna ink this one just so you can see what they look like inked. Usually I would ink it before I sew it. But you can do it after. It's just a little trickier. So you gotta kind of lift it up but I will show you what it looks like. These are all torn with my paper tear ruler that I made. You can see that's a cookbook. There's a little voice on the back of that. Variety meats, Chinese chicken livers, chicken liver rosetta, sweetbreads, chasseur, and potted tongue. That doesn't sound yummy. I don't think I would like potted tongue. It's a really old book. I had, a long time ago, I had a lady give me her collection of cookbooks. And there were some bizarre ones in there. I mean, anything from cooking with kudzu to pretty much every, like, nationality kind of thing that you could think of. I mean, you had, like, I don't know, Russian cooking, Greek cooking, Spanish cooking. It had everything. And she probably gave us like 100 books. And I have a lot of them left. But that was one of them. I don't remember what it was called. But she was just tossing them, and I was like, oh, I'll take them. But there were definitely some weird ones in there. All right, there. So that's what it looks like if you ink it. It just shows those torn edges a little bit better. All right, let's get our label on the outside. Now, when I printed these, well, when I made them, I added 2 lines. So you could technically leave both lines, or you could cut out to the center line and just leave that center line. So it gives you a little more flexibility when you're printing them. So you don't have to print quite as many sizes. If you're like me and you like to print them ahead of time, so you can just pull from them. I sat last night printing a ton of them, put in that folder I made. Cutting them out can be a little bit of a pain. But I did at least keep mine lined straight, so there's that. I hate when I get things that are labels and they're not lined straight. It's quite annoying to me, so I do make sure that when I print mine, that when I make them, that the lines are straight, so you can just cut it with your, your trimmer or your guillotine or whatever. All right, so that is that. Oh, it's not going in. There. So we made 3 fairly quick. Look at that, under an hour. If you count my talking, less than that probably. So there's a cute, right? So Sunflower says, what does it say? Let's see if I can get this. Is it going to focus that close? Maybe. It says, any one of the genus something, 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 we're not going to try to pronounce that, of a New World composite plant with large yellow rayed flower heads bearing edible seeds that yield an edible something. I have no idea what that last word is. That's what that says. Let's see the last one. Cozy. It says, enjoying or affording warmth and ease. So they may or may not be the actual dictionary definitions of these words. Who knows? But there we go. All right, so that is our project for today. Let's see. I will be back on Wednesday, I think. I did want to point out something from my last video real quick before I go. Oh, we got to put these in our pocket. We're going to do that, so I'm not going to go yet. On my last video, I made these coin envelope things, and I decoupaged them. And when I decoupaged them, I sanded off the napkin. You might not want to do that. Later, I ran into an issue with my sanding was too aggressive, and my envelopes were all splitting. This one's actually not splitting, but most of them, because when I had sanded it, I was a little too aggressive. All of the envelopes started splitting like that. Okay. So I ended up having to go in and glue the edges down, just stick them. And then I had to cut my tag just a tiny bit smaller to fit in there still. Because when you glue, you lose like almost 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I ran into that. I would suggest covering them with paper and trimming them rather than decoupaging them. Like, they're kind of thin. Or if you are going to sand them, just be really gentle with your sanding, because like I said, it wasn't something I noticed that I had even done until I went to put my tag in, and it was just slipping out the edge. I was like, oh, what happened? So I just wanted to tell y'all so you knew. I try to point out things like that I have happened just in case. So let's put these in a pocket or something. I'm not sure. I've also got little like hidden paper clips that I made. They work good for things like this. I have a video somewhere. Don't ask me where. No, you can ask me where. I'll find it if you need it. Pockets. You know, I just got them and sat them down here somewhere. Where'd you set them? I'll find them. There they are. So let's see if these work. If not, I've got other choices. Or I'll make some pockets next time. We'll see. We'll see if these work anywhere. Like I said, I think that sunflower one would look really pretty with them. Let me zoom back out just a fraction. Oh, I did already. Okay. Here, we're going to set this up here. So, yellow page. So for this one, I really like this color with that. I just have to decide if this amber is going to stay. No. Okay. Go over here. I like this amber color. I'm thinking that would work. So try glue that one in there. I think I should be able to glue this with art glitter. It's a candy wrapper, but it's not, it's got a little bit of a, I don't know, it takes glue a little better than like acetate or something. I don't know what it is exactly. Some sort of a, it's almost like a coated tissue paper. If I had to define it, that's probably what I would call it. It's like a coated tissue paper. But the coating isn't so much that it doesn't take glue usually. So I think that this will work fine. And I sewed that. Make sure it's sticking down. It's probably going to take a second to dry just because. A second and see if it feels like it's going to dry properly. If not, I'll switch glues. I think it'll be all right. But I'm probably not going to put this in just yet, but I'll show you what it looks like. So that'll be like that. And I could decorate this more if I wanted, but I do like it. So probably put that one there. So I'm going to let this dry. Just make sure that it stays. Set that one aside. So that'll be cute. Set this aside. And see if we can find something in this one for one of the others. So we have these two and these two. And like I said, you could also just paper clip them in. It's up to you. You know, say I wanted to, maybe I wanted to paper clip it to this, or maybe I would just wanted to put it in there. Okay, once I finish this, I could totally just use this bag to hide it in there. I haven't decorated it yet though, so I'm going to decorate it, I promise. I promise I'll get to it. You know, and if you didn't want to put it somewhere like that, you could always paper clip it somewhere. I'm leaning toward maybe making a pocket. I don't want it there, maybe it's about, no. I might put it in that envelope. I don't know. I might do that. I could also put this on here after I decorate it. I think it'll fit. Just barely. Let's see if this will fit. Will it fit after I glue it? Maybe. Maybe not. It's a little narrow. How about this one? These are both almost borderline being too narrow. Because you got to consider the glue is going to take up a lot of that edge. So these might be too narrow for that one because these are 4 inches instead of that other one that was 3. Or 3.5 or whatever it was. But I could put these in here. And I could add a pocket to this. It's just a fraction bigger than that maybe. Even if it's just a side pocket. Could I do a side? Maybe. Maybe not. There's not a lot of room for glue. I'm thinking I'm just going to put them on the inside of here. It's got so much room in there. They'll easily tuck in there. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do with these two. Is just tuck them on the 2 bags that I have left. I have this one. I think there's one in the other one. Let's double check. Make sure. But I think there is. Yeah. So I've got one in here too. So we're just going to use those and tuck them in there. But I'll decorate them with something. But like I said, if you did want to use a paper clip or whatever, you could always just paper clip these on like that somewhere. It could be like that, or it could be on the edge like this. Okay? Lots of options. All right, but that's our project. we'll leave it at that. I think I'm going to put them in the envelopes for those. I'll leave the other one like it is because it looks good like that. But these two I will put in pockets. Okay, let me bring that over for the last shot. There we go. All right, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you have any questions, be sure to just send me a message. I'll answer your question. And if you need to purchase anything, use my code ARTROOM. And that is it. I'll get those labels printed out, and well, not printed, but put into a like a Dropbox or something for a download. All right, guys, y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.